Purposeful earning and selfless service is the topic for today's Intention Monday, and it's a beautiful topic. And I'm so glad that this came to the forefront. This comment was left by a beautiful, beautiful friend of mine. And why I love it so much is because it's very relevant to a lot of coaches and consultants. The comment on one of my earlier LinkedIn posts was where I put a post up about a concept called karma yoga, which is the art of selfless service and detaching from the outcome. And this amazing coach put up this comment to say, I wonder how serving with a pure heart could conflict with the idea of charging more or doubling your income. Many coaches feel the impulsive need to serve for free. Such a relevant comment, and we're going to talk about that in today's Intention Monday. We're going to create our week in such a powerful way where we get to go into the week with this mindset, with this focus around, okay, how do we create the distinction between this idea of selfless serving and still purposeful earning? And hence the title for today's Intention Monday. My name is Rishi Patel. I'm the founder of Selling in Alignment, where I work with coaches and consultants to reprice and package their services so they can discover and live their wider purpose. Let's talk about, first of all, valuing your service. You see, serving doesn't necessarily equate to doing something for free. We need to redefine the way we look at service or selfless service as a karma yogi would. And I'm going to tie this back to some service work that I do. I'm a part of an organization and we do some service work for the homeless here in London. We travel into the heart of central London and often we'll go and we'll create conversations with the homeless and those perhaps in the low income bracket, they can't afford housing. And we'll sit down with them, we'll create a connection with them and we'll serve them some food and we'll talk to them and just kind of get into their world. Now, this is selfless service and I'm not asking for anything back in return. In the case of coaching and in the way in which our economy works, what we really need to understand is in and around navigating today's economic landscape, we are a currency-driven society. To operate, for us to not only survive, but thrive in this world, we have to operate using currency. And where we deliver services, we do need to charge for them. Now, it's different, however, when I'm going with the intention of serving the homeless. And I want to create and really help everyone to understand these distinctions. Why is it different when I'm serving and I'm doing this work with the homeless? I'm not asking for anything in return, or I don't expect anything in return. Whereas I'm delivering a service, I'm working with a coach, we're bundling together a £20,000, £30,000 top-end package. We're going out to the market, we're getting the clients that will buy into that, and we're selling 5 or 6 of those units. Why is that different, and why do we want to charge for those services? Well, when I go and serve the homeless, I have an intention. There's a deep intention that I want to realize that I am whole, that I am full, I am complete. Now, this ties in with this whole concept around self-love, which I think is very misunderstood. This entire idea of self-love is there built to remind us that we are full, whole, and complete. Only when we are full, whole, and complete can we then give. I can only serve the beautiful people in central London, those of whom have big hearts, and yet, and for whatever reason, they find themselves without housing. I can serve them because I remind myself that I myself am full, whole, and complete. It's not that I earn much more money than them or anything like that. It's not that they're better than me or I'm better than them. No, I get to remind myself as a being that I'm full, whole, and complete. And inside of giving and doing that service work, I'm doing that. Now, where I work inside of business, the intention is different. I'm looking to uplift and transform lives in a different way. The way in which I want to uplift and transform lives is to have them step into their power. And the reason that we charge our worth inside of this scenario where we still selflessly serve is because that's the nature of our economy. Our economy is built on transacting in currency. Maybe 500 years from now, we may transact in bananas, at which time bananas will be the said currency for that particular period of time. And throughout time, we've always transacted in some way using something in order to create these value transactions. Now, it's important for us because we have a duty. We have a duty to thrive. We have a duty to feel this wholeness, this completeness, this power inside of ourselves. If you're watching live, I'd love to know what you're getting from this. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, let me know what your takeaway is from this and what you're going to apply into your week. We have a duty of serving our customers. We can still serve selflessly. We can still serve wholeheartedly. And we can still charge really good money for what we do. And we have to understand that there's nothing wrong with that. It's our duty to serve, not only to serve our clients, but then it's also our duty to serve our families. It's our duty to serve our children. It's our duty to serve our spouse. It's our duty to serve those people that are in and around us, our community, the wider community, the world. And the way in which we can do this and continue to serve more and more with greater levels of conviction, greater levels of outreach, is by having financial transaction involved. And there is nothing wrong in creating that. That is a very powerful mindset. And all of this just touches onto the money mindset. You see, money is an energy, and we're using that energy to create a transaction. And our approach and our outlook on money is very, very important. If we're coming from a space of, oh, scarcity, I'm not charging enough for my services, which is what I see. In fact, in 100% of cases, I've seen coaches not charge anywhere near enough for their services. Then what happens is vibrationally, through energy, our clients pick up on that. And something doesn't quite seem right. And people will create an excuse then. There'll be a reason. There'll be something to do with, oh, I don't have the time, or oh, I don't have the money to do this. And inside of that, what's going on potentially is that there is something around undervaluing what you're doing, what you're putting out there. And because the economic structure is built in a certain way, it's critical that we do charge good money for our services, because that will then be perceived as something that's high value, high end. It's just a psychology around product packaging. And packaging is exactly what I do with coaches. And we start by creating a high-end package. This is important. It's critical, especially if coaches are burning out and it's like, you're getting to the end of your tether, you've taken on too many one-to-ones and you've got nowhere near the amount of capacity that you want to have, and you're feeling like you're working all these hours, and maybe you're hitting a top-end bracket of 60 or 70,000 pounds in terms of a turnover. You need to do something differently. And I start by repackaging and repricing. This is a critical element of what we do. We're still serving selflessly. We can still adapt the karma yogi philosophy and the power behind it by doing our best and leaving and detaching from the outcome, giving without any ulterior motive. And that's different from charging our worth. And the difference is this: when we put out a package, let's say, for example, I'm working with a coach or a consultant, we have a package out there, and I create a discovery call or presentation for them, and they decide not to do that, or they decide to take it on. My duty from a karma yogi perspective is to be detached from that outcome, not to get overly excited if they take it on, not to get overly sad if they don't. Because ultimately, that's not in my control. What's in my control is the quality of the presentation, the quality of my product, the quality of my service, my intention behind wanting to uplift, my intention behind wanting to serve. The rest of whatever happens beyond that point, not in my control. And we really, really have to understand this. And this is sustainable. Your business as a coach or a consultant, it has expenses. You've got to pay your accountants, you've got to pay business rates, you've got to pay taxes, you've got to pay software fees, you've got to pay for memberships, subscriptions, for coaching. You have all of these fees. So at the end of the day, you want to take home money that can serve you, your family, your wider community. And we can only really do that by charging and pricing and packaging ourselves in the right way. It's incredibly powerful. And I really, really look forward to seeing you all as coaches and consultants step into that space. Selling in Alignment's mission is to see coaches and consultants step into that space. So until the next time, keep selling in alignment.